Recorded. And there we go. So, as always, let's begin by finding a comfortable seat. Remembering that that can look like many things in your body depending on how you're feeling today. So, it's comfortable in my body to sit crisscross applesauce. If that's comfortable for you, that's great. And if not, you can always prop one leg out. You can have both. You can sit on a block or a cushion, whatever works best for you. And then once you've found your comfortable seat, allow your body to come to stillness. You can allow your eyes to come to a half gaze or close completely and begin to cultivate some nice deep belly breaths. Really breathing from the center of your body. Now, as you breathe, we'll begin to add some movement to go along with that breath. So on your next inhale, roll your spine out nice and long, sit tall on the mat, and then exhale to soften, melting your spine, your shoulders, rounding a little bit, and then inhaling, lengthening, feeling tall, and exhaling to soften. And we just feel this to happen a few more times in our bodies, allowing breath and movement to come together. On your next inhale, sweep your right arm across in front of you, up and over, and then exhale to lower that right hand down. Inhale, sweep your left arm across, up and over, and exhale down. Inhaling right. And left. And allow yourself to sort of sink into this movement pattern, gently opening the shoulders, opening the side waist. Now, as you breathe, as you move, begin to feel empowered to change this movement depending on what you're feeling. So if you notice that it would feel really good to linger in one particular space, you can do so. You can also add on. So if you notice that it would feel good to stretch in a way that we aren't right now, go ahead and do that. Use this opening space of movement meditation to gently ease into your body and to find some of those little points of tension and start them on the melting process. And then gently and gradually make your way back to seated once more, drawing your hands to heart center. Take a moment right here to set your intention or your dedication for your practice today. And then once that intention or dedication is set, simply release your hands down to the mat, sweep your feet around behind you. Let's meet in tabletop first. Wrists come beneath the shoulders, knees come under the hips, and we're going to get that spine moving. On your inhale, roll your heart forward and tip your tailbone to the sky. Then exhale, coil your belly and drop the crown of your head. Inhale to roll open. And exhale, coil it in. Now, if this feels perfect, if cat-cow is totally doing it for you in this moment, you stay right here. You are also welcome to introduce free-form movement, though. So sometimes that can feel nice in terms of like circular movements, with the rib cage or the hips. Sometimes we need to shift side to side or forward or back. I invite you to just explore your space a little bit. Notice what helps the muscles in your back feel better right now. And then find your way back to a neutral spine in tabletop. From here, draw your knees a little closer together under your hips just so that they're very centered so you feel quite stable. On your inhale, extend your right leg long behind you and lower the toe down to the mat so that you can press into your right heel to stretch out the back of your right leg. Now there are always options when we are in a place where we're stretching in yoga. For this one, you can have that static stretch, just pressing into that right heel and breathing slowly. You can also find a slow rolling motion. Now notice this is not a bounce, right? It's just a slow flow into and out of the stretch. So notice what would feel better and then find that pattern. And then let's switch it out. Lower your right knee down to meet the left. Let's feel that on the left-hand side. Extend your left leg long. Lower your toe and begin to press into that left heel. Again, sustaining the stretch or finding that slow rolling expression. And then lower that left knee down to meet your right. From here, we're going to meet in forward folds. There are a couple ways to get there. You can walk your hands back to stand, or you can step your feet forward, whatever works better in your body. Once you have found your forward fold, once you feel stable, surrender. Just let your body kind of flop over. Try to relax your neck and your shoulders, relax the back of your head. If movement would feel good here, you can rock from side to side. Knees can be bent. We are not warmed up yet. Go ahead and just find the expression that works for you. And then if you are in motion, come to stillness. Bend both knees. Exhale. Roll your way all the way up to standing. Inhale. Rise and open. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Release your hands down by your sides and make your way to the top of your mat if you're not already there. And we're going to set up our first mountain pose of class. So root your feet to the mat. Looking down, you want them to be directly beneath those bony protrusions at the front of your hips, your hip bones. So that's about 1.5 to 2 fists distance apart in most human bodies. Bring your hands to your belly. Give your belly some love. And then find that space, that little triangle of muscles just beneath your navel and draw in and up. Tailbone lengthens. Let your shoulders roll back and down, palms face forward. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale to fold forward. Bend your knees enough that your fingertips can find the mat or a set of blocks if you're using blocks. On your inhale, step your right foot back to lunge and lower your right knee down to the mat. Take a moment to check in with your lunge. Make sure it's nice and safe. We want that left knee directly over the left ankle. So if you find that your ankle is back, that you have a really severe bend in the knee, just lift that foot and bring it forward a little. Frame your left shin with your forearms. Look forward, and then on your exhale, draw your hips back, allowing that left leg to start to stretch out. Your toes might rise a little bit. Inhale forward to lunge. Melt your right hip toward the mat. And then exhale, shifting back. Again, stretching out the back of that left leg. Inhaling forward to lunge. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. From here, find your tabletop. Find a little bit of movement right here in tabletop. Once again, just doing the early releasing bits of all the stuck points in our back and shoulders and hips. So maybe a little cat-cow, maybe free-form movement, and then return to your neutral spine. Walk your hands one hand span forward and shift your shoulders over your wrists. So we're finding half plank here, and in half plank we want the knees, hips, and shoulders to be in one long line. Now draw your navel in so your tailbone is still reaching long, and press the mat away so there's plenty of buoyancy, plenty of space between your shoulder blades. Bend your elbows, they're going to come toward your rib cage, and lower your body with control all the way down to the mat. Walk your toes back once you've landed. Fingertips are wide. They can come out to either side. Begin to roll one shoulder and then the other. This is creative Cobra. We're just creating lots of space, finding range of motion, maybe listening to the song of the clicking of the shoulder joints. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop, or if you have one in your practice, you are welcome to press back to downward facing dog here. Wherever you have landed, find movement. So if you're in tabletop, that's cat-cow or free-form spinal movement. If you are with me in down dog, we're walking out that dog. Bending one knee and then the other, making sure the fingers are spread so that we protect our wrists while we are in downward facing dog. And then wherever you happen to be, come to stillness. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. If your left knee is lifted, please lower it down. So let's check in with that lunge again. We want to make sure that that right knee is directly over the right ankle. Frame your right shin. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back, stretching the back of the right leg. Toes might rise a little bit. Inhale forward, melt your left hip toward the mat. And exhale back, stretching it out. Inhaling forward. Let your next inhale bring you all the way forward to lunge. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together and fold, soften. You can rock from side to side here if that would feel good. And then if you are in motion, come to stillness. Bend both knees. Exhale, roll your way up. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Check in with your mountain pose, reset if you need to. And then once again, we root to rise. So we press down into the earth and we wake our body up, drawing that navel in, shoulders roll back and down, standing tall, standing proud. Inhale to sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale to fold forward. Bend your knees enough to plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your left foot back to lunge and lower that left knee down. So we'll take it a little bit deeper this time, again making sure that we start with that right knee over the right ankle. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, shift back. This time walk your hands back as well. Shifting back to half monkey pose, really getting that deep stretch. And then inhale forward, melting that left hip toward the mat. Exhale, shifting back, walking the hands back, right toes rise. Inhaling forward. On your next inhale, find your way forward to lunge. Tabletop from here. Walk your hands, one hand span forward, shift your shoulders over your wrists. So same checks, strong core, navel's drawing in, press the earth away. Now listen for the change. On your exhale, bend your elbows halfway. Inhaling back up. Exhaling halfway down. Inhaling back up. This time we'll follow all the way through. Slow and controlled. Find your way down to the mat. Walk your toes back. Create space. Fingertips are wide. Roll your shoulders. Creative Cobra. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog, yogi's choice. Pause for a little bit of movement wherever you happen to have landed, and then stabilize. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands. Lower your right knee down if it's lifted. So again, quick check. Make sure that left knee is directly over the left ankle. Plant your hands, look forward. On your exhale, shift back. Left toes rise. This time, walk your hands back. Half monkey pose, deep stretch. Inhale forward, lunge, lowering that right hip to the mat. And exhaling back, half monkey pose. Let your next inhale bring you forward to lunge. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together. And fold, soften. Rock from side to side. Find ease, find movement. Relax your jaw, relax your neck. And then come to stillness. Bend both knees. Exhale, roll your way up. Inhale, rise and open. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Check in with your mountain pose. Reset if you need to. Rooting down and then rising up, feeling tall. On your inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale to fold forward. Bend both knees, plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your right foot back to lunge. Lower that right knee down. From here, we'll walk our hands up our left knee. Now, if you notice once you come up to lunge that this feels a little unstable, you can always grab a block and place it by your right hip so you've got an easy thing to touch down on, just in case you come over. So once you've settled, on your inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhaling, opening out to either side, stretching across the chest. On this exhale, both hands come down. Find your way to tabletop. Now this time, hips are going to stay high as we walk our hands forward. Melt your chest toward the mat for puppy dog pose. Now arms in puppy dog can look like a few different things. For a deep shoulder stretch, have your arms extended and not touching the mat. Another option, you can come down to your forearms, which still gets that beautiful stretch in your spine and in your back and belly, but it doesn't put quite as much pressure in the forearms. One last option, you can bring your hands to the back of your head and rest your forehead on the mat. All of these are different versions of puppy dog. All of them are correct depending on where you are today. And then roll your way all the way out and down onto your belly. Come on down to the mat. Walk your toes back to create space. And let's explore traditional Cobra. So we're going to bring our fingertips to directly beneath our shoulders. Lengthen the back of your neck by looking at the mat. We want to keep this long the entire time so we don't get crunchy in our cervical vertebra. Root your toes and your thighs down to the mat. Draw your navel in and then roll your shoulders up and back and down. Light pressure in the hands. We're not pushing up too hard. Exhale to soften. 2 more times. Root the lower body. Strong core. Rolling open. Hi, Lefa. 1 more time. And press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog, yogi's choice. Come to stillness and then inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your right foot forward between your hands. Lower your left knee down if it's lifted. So same thing, we're going to walk our hands up that right side. So again, make sure your right knee's over the right ankle, and if this feels unstable, grab a block, place it by your left hip. Let's find that beautiful heart and chest opener. Inhale, sweep your fingertips forward and up. Exhale, open out, bend your elbows, get that nice deep stretch across the chest. Inhale. On this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Turn your left toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together and fold, soften. If you're in motion, come to stillness. Exhale, bend both knees. Roll your way up. Inhale, rise and open. And exhale, hands come to heart center. All right, last time through our opening salutation, check back in one more time with your mountain pose. Reset if you need to. And then find the rise on your inhale. Sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, pour forward. This time on your inhale, halfway rise. Hands come to your shins or your thighs. Roll your shoulders back and down and find a nice flat back. Now in this stretch, we want the backs of the legs to be pretty straight, so go for as straight as you can get them. Once you've found your sort of base pose, this L shape, walk your fingertips down a little further to deepen the stretch. And then bend both knees and plant your fingertips. Inhale to step your left foot back to lunge. Lower that left knee down to the mat. Now this time we're going to plant the left hand at the center of the mat. So that can be down flat to the mat. You can also grab a block or a book or whatever you've got handy to give your arm a little more length here if this is feeling like it's just too far away this morning. On your inhale, peel your right arm open, reaching to the sky, twisting the heart open. Exhale, lower that arm down, threading it underneath the right leg. Inhaling, peeling open. And exhaling to lower. This movement is sometimes referred to as the trunk of Ganesha, so you can always imagine that you're an elephant here if that's what you would like. It's Friday. I think that's a good day to be an elephant, really. And release. That right hand comes all the way down to the mat, tabletop, and then walk your hands forward, shift your shoulders over your wrists. So we're starting in half plank here, but listen for the change. What I'd like you to do while staying strong through the core is come down to your forearms on the mat. We're going to make a triangle with our arms, right? So elbows are underneath the shoulder joints, arms are coming together, hands can be clasped at the center. Now walk your knees back a little bit so that you can keep that line of hips to shoulders, right? So knees, hips, and shoulders are in one long line. Draw your navel in. Now, this one's a little tough. So on your inhale, press into your forearms so that it makes your shoulders round. Exhale to soften. Inhaling, pressing into the forearms, shoulders round. And exhale to soften. You just follow this little pulse right here. And this is some of how we address building some upper body strength, and particularly the upper back, which is good because we can get injuries there pretty easily if we don't keep those muscles strong. And release. Roll your way all the way down onto the mat. Make a pillow with your hands. Rest your head. Rock your hips from side to side. If windshield wiper legs would feel good here, you can add those in. And then if your toes are in the air, let's return them to the mat. Return your fingertips to beneath your shoulders and press back. Tabletop or downward facing dog. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale to step your left foot forward between your hands. Lower your right knee down if it's lifted. All right, so let's set up that same twisting lunge. We're going to plant that right hand at the center of the mat. And remember, you can also place a block or a book underneath your right hand to give you a little more length here. On your inhale, peel your left arm open. Exhaling, lowering down, maybe curling it underneath that left thigh. Inhale, peeling open. And on this next exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Turn your right toes under to lift your back knee. Look forward and step together and fold. Soften. Again, just finding some ease right here. No tension at all. Relax your neck, relax your head, relax your jaw. Find movement that would help you let go. And then if you are in motion, come to stillness. Bend your knees, exhale, roll your way all the way up. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Check back in with your dedication or your intention. Coming back to that inward gazing point. And then once that breath finishes its way out, release your hands down, and we're going to make our way all the way down to the mat for core cultivation. So let's start today for core all the way down on our backs. Roll it down, draw your knees in, and rock from side to side. This can just feel really nice on your back. One thing that can feel good on the lower back particularly is to draw some big circles with your knees. You can try that as well. And then come to stillness. From here, leaving the toes touching, we're going to open those knees out, making a diamond shape with the legs. You can float your feet a little bit to make a nice big diamond. Sweep your fingertips to the sky and interlace all of your fingers except your index fingers. This is in yoga called Agni Mudra and in Western culture called the Charlie's Angels finger gun. On your exhale, point your index fingers through that diamond. So you're going to come up off the mat a little bit, crunching. Inhaling back down to the mat. Exhale, point away. Inhale. this next exhale, you can stay in that slow flow, or you can join me and sustain, pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Draw your knees in, rock from side to side. Turn your head from side to side as well. Anytime we're supine and pull our shoulders up off the mat, it causes neck tension. So finding a gentle rocking motion can release that. And then come to stillness at the center. So from here, we're going to draw our knees toward our armpits. We're opening the legs off nice and wide across the chest. Keeping your knees bent, press your heels to the sky. So it's a little bit like we're squatting on the ceiling here. On your exhale, press your palms between your feet. Inhale to come back down to the mat. Exhaling, pressing away. Inhaling back down. All right, yogi's choice. If this is cultivating, if this is strengthening, you stay right here. If you would like to turn up the challenge and the heat, on your inhale, you can extend to pike, arms and legs reaching away. Exhaling, coiling in, supine squat. Inhale and exhale. So choose the path that's right for you this morning. On this next exhale, we're going to draw everything in and let it go. Rock from side to side. Turn your head from side to side. All right, last one. Let's find our way up to seated, and we're going to set up the base for boat pose. So for boat pose, we want a V seat, which means our feet are planted, there's a deep bend in the knees, and our hips are firmly planted on the earth. And they're planted so that we can sit forward easily, right? So if you're rounded, if you're hanging onto your thighs for dear life, scoot your hips back a little bit further. We want to be sitting forward on our sits bones. Draw your navel in, spine is long. Let's start with our fingertips behind the nooks of the knees. On your exhale, tip back. Staying strong, staying lengthened, feeling that core working. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. So, again, yoga salad bar, right? We have options. Stay right here or float your hands free. Remembering to keep your spine long, staying sort of careful. We can find maybe a little bit more movement here. Maybe it's a little bit more challenging. And then wherever you happen to be, let it go, fold forward. You can rock from side to side here if that feels nice in your body. I like it, but as with all things yoga, your mileage will vary. And just let your breath slow and deepen. Come to stillness, and we're going to find our way all the way up to standing for some standing shoulder and heart stretches. And while you come up to standing, I'm going to adjust my camera. Oh, still too low. There we go. All right, find a comfortable, rooted standing position. Doesn't need to be formal mountain pose, but I want you to feel nice and secure. So root down into your feet, strong core, and we'll stretch across the back of the shoulders first. So from here, right arm over, left arm under. Start by finding your shoulders and lowering your elbows to the lowest point on your chest, and then roll your shoulders back and down. So we've got plenty of space between the ear and the shoulder. Now from here, keeping our shoulders low, we're going to lift just the elbows and then lower them. lifting, and lowering. Now, this may be plenty. If you're already feeling this stretch across the back, across your shoulder blades, maybe you stay right here. Maybe you move toward eagle arms, where the backs of the arms come together and you find your hands. If you've chosen that route, the movement is the same. Inhaling, lifting just the elbows. Exhaling to lower. We try to keep those shoulders down to target the stretch to the midline of the back. And release. Wiggle it out a little bit, and then we'll feel that on the other side. So this time, left arm over, right arm under. Find your shoulders. Once again, lowering the elbows, rolling the shoulders back and down. On your inhale, lift the tips of your elbows. Exhaling to lower them. And now you know where we're going. So maybe you stay right here in yoga straight jacket. Maybe you find your way to eagle arms. Again, that movement is the same, trying to keep the shoulders low as we lift and lower the elbows. And then from here, lower your arms all the way down, wiggle it out a little bit. Interlace your fingers and turn your palms to face away. Press your palms away from you as you lower the crown of your head between your upper arms, feeling that nice deep stretch across the back of your shoulders, maybe into your neck. On your inhale, lift up. Press your palms to the sky. You might find a little bit of a sway, one side to the other. Coming back to center, we'll release the arms down. Perfect. One last little stretch while we're here. We'll do a little bit of fascia work just because we generally need it, especially in a culture where we spend a lot of time doing this. So from here, lift your right hand, turn your palm to face away. Press into the heel of your hand. So this right arm is very active. Now this will start feeling weird almost immediately. Depending upon how much tingling or stretching sensation you're getting, maybe you stay right here, maybe you even bend that elbow to reduce the sensation. Maybe you track your arm behind you a little bit, because that'll change where the fascia line is stretching. And for everyone playing along at home, fascia is a sort of very thin layer of connective tissue that encases our muscles. I like to think of it as sausage casing, which is, you know, lovely, but I think a good analogy. Holds everything in. Bring that right arm back to center, wiggle it out because it feels weird, and we're going to feel it on the left-hand side. Lift your left palm, turn it to face away, and press into that left hand. Again, lots of activity. This arm is very active. It's very, come on, I lost my word. It's Friday. I can tell it's Friday. We are radiating energy out of that left palm. Once again, stay right here or track that left arm behind you. And lovely. Come on back to center. Wiggle it out and let it go. From here, inhale to sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale to interlace your fingertips behind you. Now, before we stretch across the chest, we're going to engage the belly. So draw your navel in, tailbones reaching long. Then on your inhale, press your palms away, lift your heart, stretch across the chest. Standing heart pose. Exhale to soften a little bit. Inhale, we'll find it again. Core and then heart. And release. Wiggle it out. Perfect. From here, please step your right foot forward and your left foot back. And we're setting up for warrior one here. I'm going to lower my camera slightly so you can see my feet. In warrior one, heart and hips face the short side of the mat. We want to be in a position so that that left ankle and foot feel okay. So for some people, that means that foot is turned all the way out. For some people, including me, it means that it's more like a 45-degree angle. Once you've settled, strong core, inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, sweeping away. Inhaling. Now, as you follow this little arm pattern, we're going to go for like range of motion. So see how far back you can reach, and then see how far back you can reach at the top. Now, from here, we're going to lower the hands down and step that left foot back a little further. And down, plant your fingertips, lower to your left knee, and we'll find tabletop. Walk your hands, one hand span forward, shoulders over the wrists. So, we were working on upper body strength today. Press the earth away, keep your shoulders nice and broad. Now, yogi's choice right here. We're going to do some little half push-ups. You can keep your knees lowered. You're also welcome to turn your toes under to lift them. On your exhale, bend your elbows halfway. Inhale to lift. Exhaling halfway. Inhale. 2 more. And then on this last one, we're going to follow it all the way down to the mat. Walk your toes back, create space, fingertips are wide, let it go, creative cobra. Return your hands to beneath your shoulders, press back, tabletop. From here, step your left foot forward. Now we're going to turn those right toes under to lift the back knee. Pivot your right foot down and inhale it up, warrior one. Relax your arms down, take a moment to settle that warrior, adjusting your back leg so that it's comfortable so your heart and hips can face the short side of the mat. Inhale, sweep your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, sweep behind you. Inhaling, beginning to experiment with range of motion. On this next exhale, we're going to pinwheel those hands down. Step your right foot back and lower all the way down to your right knee. Tabletop. All right, this time we're going to target our shoulders. So come down and find those triangle arms, right? We're going to shift the shoulders over the elbows, making a point with our hands. We can interlace the fingers. One thing that can sometimes feel nice in terms of a stable base is to take your pinky and curl it in so that the hands are balancing a little more evenly, not all the weight is on one pinky. From here, walk your knees back so that you can find your half plank position. Or, again, if you're feeling ambitious, you can turn your toes under to lift your knees. We'll find that same pulse we did in the very beginning of practice. Inhale, press into your forearms. Feel the rounding of your upper back. And exhale to soften. Inhaling, pressing. Exhaling, release. If your knees are lifted, roll them all the way down. Make a pillow with your hands, rest your head, and rock your hips from side to side. And then from here, we'll press our way back. Tabletop. Excellent. From tabletop, with our shoulders over our wrists, with hips over our knees, not knees over our hips, that would look very strange indeed. From here, we're going to find a little twist. Lift your right hand, and we're going to dive that all the way underneath the left arm, coming down to your right shoulder and resting your head on the mat. So this will probably feel pretty good after the practice today. You can stay exactly as you are. You can also press into your left hand to get a little more stretch across the back of your shoulders. And find your way out, coming back to tabletop. We'll feel that on the other side. Lift your left hand, dive it underneath your right arm, come all the way down to your left shoulder. And again, yogi's choice, stay here or press into your right hand to deepen the stretch across your shoulders. And find your way back to tabletop. Sweep your feet around in front of you and measure them out on the mat so that you have space for a forward fold as well as to roll down afterwards for Shavasana. Now, once you've measured your legs out, keeping your hips where they are, draw your knees in. Press your belly to your thighs, snuggle down. You can find your ankles here or your feet, whatever's available to you. On your inhale, lengthen your spine. So belly and thighs are still touching, but we have a nice long spine. On your exhale, walk your heels out just a couple inches, and then snuggle down again. Find that point of connection. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhale, maybe scooting your heels out just a little bit further. Snuggling down, inhaling to lengthen, and exhale. Now, once you've reached the spot where you can't stretch anymore, you surrender right there. That is your forward fold, and in most bodies, forward fold really is done with a slight bend in the knee. You want to feel a stretch all the way from your ankles into the backs of your legs and even into your lower back. Simply surrender into your forward fold. And then from here, gently roll your way all the way back up to seated. Draw your knees in as you roll down onto the mat. Rock from side to side. Come to stillness at the center and open your arms out to either side. Make a nice big T on the mat. Drop your knees off to your right hand side and turn your head to look to the left. Now, if you notice that there's any neck tension present, another option is to simply turn your head gently from side to side. Come back to center, draw your knees in. Exhale to drop them over to the left-hand side and turn your head to look to the right, or find that gentle rocking motion of just turning your head ever so softly side to side. to stillness at the center. And now if there are any additional stretches, if there's any movement, any asana, anything at all you would like to feel, take a moment to address that desire. And then as you are ready, make your way into your Shavasana. Remembering that there are lots of options here, right? So we can have the heels wide, shoulders relaxed, palms facing the sky, toes falling out to either side. For many people, me included, this causes a little discomfort in the lower back. If that is you, plant your feet the distance of the mat and let your knees fall together at the center. And let your bones support you. That will reduce the tension in your lower back. You are, of course, also welcome to take child's pose, supine goddess pose with the feet touching. And you can, of course, also take seated meditation right here. Whichever position you have chosen, take a moment to just soften. Allow all the places where your body is touching the earth to melt. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes and your forehead. And simply let go and float. allow your breath to create space within your body. Begin to find some little movements of your fingertips and your toes, bringing you back to this day, to this time. Point your toes away and reach your arms up overhead. Take a nice deep breath in, full body stretch. And then exhale to draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Eventually find your way all the way over onto your right side and curl into the posture of the sleeping child. You can rest your head on your right arm if that would feel good. Take a moment in this space that you have created to set your intention for the weekend ahead of you. Choose the way you want to enter the next couple of days. And then when you are ready and you feel your practice is complete, use your hands to help press yourself up to a nice, easy seated position. Bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. We'll close our practice this morning with a round of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, a prayer for peace. Inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lefa, for not interfering too much. Let me scoot forward and reset the room. So, we go to remove spotlight and gallery view. And I am going to, there we go. Hey, Grace. And let me stop the recording.